my new favorite coffee mug, sent to me by Ginny as a surprise, and it was. So I'm having a whole pot of coffee from my miniature coffee pot, and it stays so hot. And speaking of hot, it's not getting any cooler here. No, here in the desert today, it should be, by the time I start playing tennis at 7:30, it should be 100 degrees. The weird thing about the weather here, and I don't care how long I live in the desert, I don't think I'll ever get used to it, is if it's hot during the day, it's probably going to be hot at night. And it doesn't cool off just because the sun goes down, except maybe by, I'm looking outside because it looks so beautiful. How could it be so oppressively hot? Seriously, when the sun goes down, you might drop a degree or two, but I mean, if I show you the weather report for today, here we go. Wait a minute, because you just, I don't know. Can you see that? It's 97 degrees right now, and it's 6 o'clock in the morning, and it'll be 118 by 2 p.m. And at sundown, it's still going to be 111 degrees. Yeah, no, it's crazy here. It's crazy. So somebody said to me, "Can you even go outside? Don't you just like roast the minute you go outside?" No, no. I had a regular day yesterday, ran all my errands, went and visited Fritzy. You just kind of go from air conditioned car to air conditioned building and catch pneumonia while you're walking from your car to the building. Delicioso. So, Fritzy report from yesterday. Sorry, a little bit of drippy eyes there. Good morning, Opa. So glad to have you here. No, seriously, so glad to have you here. So Fritzy report. I went to see Fritzy yesterday, and in the course of my visit with her, which was, well, first of all, you should know that when I got there and I got to her room, you know how kismet works, like coincidence, serendipity, like I arrived at the perfect moment because as I got into her room, she was sitting on the edge of her bed, just about to stand up, which she cannot do anymore. She has no balance. That's how she keeps falling. But I got there and I didn't scare her, and I went zooming over to the bed and sat down with her and held her arm and explained to her once again that she didn't have any balance and I would be glad to help her. So I helped her get dressed and get in her chair, and then we had a lovely visit, and that's what I wanted to share with you. So I shared this picture yesterday. This was my grandson Max at about 2.5 years old. Very serious. Can you see his face? Very serious, with his new flashlight that was very cool. And when I asked him what he was doing, he told me he was being the statue of delivery. It has become my favorite photo. So I blew it up and I took a copy of it to my mother, to Fritzy, who will be 98 years old on July 20th. And she knows that, by the way. Anyway, I took her a blow up of the picture and I told her the same story I told you, that it was the anniversary of the French giving the United States the Statue of Liberty. So we were honoring Miss Liberty, and I had a special photo to share with her. She didn't really get the relationship between herself and Max or me and Max, but I told her. Good morning, Indy. I explained it to her, that he was my grandson, her great grandson, and that he had received this special gift. And in honor of the Statue of Liberty Day, I brought her this picture because Max declared to everyone that he was the statue of delivery. I'm sorry. Her brain is not always there to talk, but she totally got the joke of it. She started just chuckling. I mean, like, broke out in this big smile, started laughing, and I thought, you still get the joke, Mom. That is so cool. You still get the joke. Not always, but she did in that minute. It was really cool. It was really cool indeed. So we had a lovely visit. Thank you for asking. And the Fritzy report is Fritzy is hanging in there and doing fine. She's just wonderful. And I get to go there pretty much every day, every other day, and hear how beautiful I am, because that's all she tells me is how beautiful I am. And if I talk to her about someone else or show her someone else's picture, she says, and this is where she puts sentences together and it cracks me up. You know who's more beautiful than that? No, Mom, who's more beautiful than that? You're beautiful. You're beautiful. No, Mama, you're beautiful. And then we play the You're Beautiful game. It's very fun. I suggest you try it. Find someone that you think is beautiful or that you want to say is beautiful and go back and forth. It's very cool. If you have no one to do that with, stand in front of the mirror and keep repeating it over and over and over. You want to talk about how to have a good self-image? Create it. Stand in front of the mirror until you can honestly say, you're awesome. And just keep telling yourself how awesome you are and all the things you like about yourself. Oh, it's a great practice. Really prepares you for the day. Okay. Beily got a haircut. No, Beily didn't get a haircut. I took Beily yesterday to get a bath, a nail trim, and a haircut. And the poor woman said we couldn't give him a haircut. We didn't really have time, but we tried to start at least and give him a little bit of a trim, but he didn't like it. Oh, and I could only clip his nails. I couldn't grind them off because he didn't like that either. Oh, and he didn't like his bath. He doesn't really like the water. Oh, and he didn't really like hanging around. So we had to put him in a cage for a while, and he didn't like that either. So they charge an extra $15 for difficult dogs. I thought I brought that in to show you the price list, but seriously, it's an extra $15 for difficult dogs. But I have to tell you, we're making progress. When I first arrived in the parking lot, Beily got so excited, could not wait to get out of the car. No kidding. I mean, you would have sworn I was taking him to, get free steak or something, until we got up to the door of the groomers, at which time he did one of those things that only a dog can do, where they just like lock in and you have to drag him because they aren't moving. They just lock in. He did not want to go in, but I took him in, never barked. He was very quiet. Even when she came out, didn't bark at her. He went with her, but not happily. She had to hold him. He smells so much better. Oh, he does. He does. No perfumey, just dog smell, but lovely dog smell. So Beily got a bath, but no extras. I paid for the extras, but they couldn't do it. They tried. So I guess in a way I paid the $15 bad dog charge. They didn't call it bad dog. They called it like difficult dog or something like that. Hey, today is Anastasia's birthday. Remember that whole thing? There was a whole movie with Ingrid Bergman claiming to be Anastasia, that Anastasia was not murdered during the whole thing with the Tsar, and she lived, and she claimed to be Anastasia, and they could never prove she was or she wasn't. I don't know if she was or wasn't, but I like the idea of believing that she was alive all that time. Oh, this was like so cool. They have this thing called the Folgers collection, which has all these original folios of William Shakespeare's works. One of them sold for almost $10 million. And they have like how many more? 82 more of his original works, and they have this like space age way of keeping it protected. Each book is in its own special like little chamber. It's crazy. They probably spent $10 million on that, which would, I guess, be worth it if they have 82 more of them. That's a lot of money. That's like billions, right? It is Autistic Pride Day. And I quote my cousin Melissa, who always says, not less, different. Different wiring. That's all. Just different wiring. She is the most amazing mom for a child with needs. She doesn't even consider it most of the time a child with needs. Her son is autistic and he's delightful. And she finds the most wonderful things to celebrate about him and always has. So does his dad. And so, Melissa, in your honor, I salute you. Not your child. Love the child. But I salute you because you're the kind of person who makes a difference on this planet. Because you know that people are different. Doesn't make them less. It doesn't make them more. Just makes them wired differently. So, here's to Autistic Pride Week. And as I like to say, come on, folks, we're all on the spectrum. All of us are on the spectrum somewhere. It's Go Fishing Day. Yeah, I give you the rest of the day off. Go fishing. It's also International Picnic Day. This is cool. I got some picnic trivia for you. The modern day picnic was introduced to the world by the French. Yeah. And it started in 1789 when the royal gardens were open for people to come in and sit and have a bite to eat on the grass. But it wasn't until 1794 when the coin was phrased, and this is when the word pique-nique, P-I-Q-U-E-N-I-Q-U-E, was appearing in the French language and was anglicized to be picnic. I kind of like, let's go on a picnic. I like that. Interesting. People have been eating outdoors for thousands of years, and it was prevalent among many members of medieval royalty. However, it wasn't until the end of the 18th century that a formal outdoor dinner could be enjoyed by the masses as a widespread idea. Yeah. During the Middle Ages, when they would go on hunts, it was very common to eat outside. That would be a picnic. It says technically in the story of Robin Hood and his merry men, they would enjoy picnics regularly, having beer, cheese, and bread, and taking shelter in the woods. That's a picnic, right? Yeah. Oh, this was interesting. A picnic ham is not really like a ham, like what we think of as ham. Hams are taken from the pig's hindquarters, and picnic hams are taken from the pig's forelegs. So, I mean, it's still pork, but it's not the ham that you think of as ham. Just saying. And in the 1880s, the phrase, it's no picnic, was coined because it was difficult and not a whole lot of fun. Because picnics are easy and they're fun. And we all have our own idea of what a picnic looks like. I am frequently, I was going to say constantly, but that's not true. But I frequently say to Indy, how about we go on a picnic today? Let's go to our favorite camping place, or let's go up in the hills, or let's go out in the desert, or let's go to our favorite oasis. Let's pack some food and go on a picnic. I love to go on picnics. I don't need a table, although it's nice. Just give me a blanket and spread it out and chop up little munchies and bring a bottle of wine and a loaf of bread and slice of cheese, hunk of cheese, and you got a picnic, baby. I think life is a picnic. Yeah. It's also National Flip-Flop Day. Now, this is a day I can get behind. I can get behind Flip-Flop Day because I would say that I wear flip-flops probably 6 out of 7 days. On that 7th day, I probably go barefoot. And that, of course, allows me to wear tennis shoes all morning to go play tennis, but then flip-flops or barefoot when I get home. Want a little trivia about flip-flops? Apparently, they got really popular after World War II when the GIs had brought Japanese zoris, those, they have like cloth little V for your toes. They brought them home after the war, and that really helped increase the popularity of flip-flops. In India, they make their flip-flops out of wood. In Africa, they use rawhide. A surviving pair of flip-flops, get this, were made from papyrus because the oldest living pair was from 1500 BC and it's currently in a British museum. You don't like flip-flops? Can you tell me why? Opa does not like flip-flops. I love flip-flops. I know they don't look proper. They don't look proper. And when I need to look proper, I wear sandals instead of flip-flops. By the way, sandals to me either have a heel or a back or something that makes them look more like a regular shoe. Oh, Opa doesn't like anything between her toes. I get that. You need to buy something other than the 49-cent Zoris that you buy at the supermarket. Those hurt. Those hurt. If you get a kind that doesn't hurt between your toes, oh, they're so delightful to wear. It's National Splurge Day. Okay, this is cool because what it is it gives you permission to go into that stash that you've been saving for a rainy day and get yourself something. Do something nice for yourself or for someone else, I guess, but splurge. Today is a day to have a little splurge. And how much you splurge is directly proportionate to how much you have in your rainy day fund. If you have nothing in your rainy day fund, you're going to have a hard time splurging, but you could try. What are you willing to do without so that you can do with something really special today? It's always nice to treat yourself well. It's good for you. Famous splurges. Ready? U2's Bono once spent $700 to buy his hat a seat on an airplane. Seriously? I think he just didn't want to sit near anybody, but they wrote it up as he bought it for his hat. Taylor Swift apparently owns 2 private jets, each costing over $44 million. That babe's made some money. Lady Gaga spent $47,000 on a portable ghost detector. This may not be true, but I love all of these. Rihanna spent as much as $300 a week renting a yacht. $300,000 a week. Oh yeah, a little different. Katy Perry bought her then husband a $200,000 ticket for a Virgin Galactic flight to space. Barbra Streisand transformed her basement into a shopping mall. In a 2-year period, Elton John once spent almost $300,000 at a florist. Wouldn't you love to have that flower shop? Why didn't he just buy the flower shop? Wouldn't it have been easier? And then he could have gotten the flowers wholesale. Hey, Elton John, come on. You're a good musician, but really, this is not a cup. Anyway, it's also Sushi Day. It is also Take Back the Lunch Break Day. Ugliest Dog Day. Nah, I don't want to celebrate that. And it's Wear Blue Day. Wear Blue Day is in honor of men's health, to remind the men in your life to go get a checkup. You wear blue to honor the men in your life and remind them to go get a checkup because men are not very good about that. Happy birthday today, 1942. The world got, you ready? I know you are ready. Yep, Sir Paul McCartney. And the rest is history after 1942. Or as I used to say, back in 42 when bread was a nickel and so was old what's her name. Sorry, forget I said that. Erase, erase, erase. Anyway, saw him at Desert Trip, or Old Cella as we called it. And I have to tell you, I can totally get why he is as popular as he is. The guy put on a show, the likes of which, and he just kept going and going and going. People wanted more, so he kept giving them more. He was amazing. And what was really cool, I unfortunately didn't hear about it in time, but there's up in the higher desert, there's a place called Pappy and Harriet's. It's in an old frontier town that used to be used for making cowboy movies. So they have a cute little Western town there, great restaurant called Pappy and Harriet's, which is a Western kind of barbecue place, old wood, everything, and it's got a stage and they have shows up there. It's in the middle of nowhere. It's like an hour away from everywhere, but people come from all over the world to go to Pappy and Harriet's. And one particular night, Sir Paul McCartney himself appeared there and played. And for $50, you could have gotten to be in a small, small venue with Sir Paul himself. That's how cool that place is. Everybody wants to play there, including Sir Paul. It is also the day that John Sutter died. I like to think of him as, like Sutter Wines. I don't know if he had anything to do with Sutter Wines, but he did own Sutter's Mill. And I know you've heard of Sutter's Mill because in 1848, they found gold on his land. And in 1849, bam, the California gold rush started. And it's still kind of a golden state. Don't they call it the Golden State? I love California. I really do. I know people are leaving. There's tax issues and blah, blah, blah. I love it here. I love it. I have no desire to leave. I got that backwards. 1983, Sally Ride. First American woman to fly in outer space. Ride, Sally, ride. Yeah, Mustang Sally in the first degree. Woo! Okay, today's word art. Doing the right thing is the right thing to do, even if no one is watching, because it is right. Do you get that? Years ago, very shortly after my husband of 20 years walked out, I was invited to a big annual event, a party at someone's house, big, like 100 people party. And my belief was he wouldn't be there because my girlfriend told me that they weren't inviting him. She wasn't inviting him. But unbeknownst to her, her husband invited him. So there I am, all dressed up in my car on my way to attend this party. And I get a call in the car saying, please don't turn around. Please come. Please, I will be here with you to hold your hand. But he's here with his girlfriend. I wanted to go home. I was so devastated. But I arrived. At the door, literally on a counter, there was a glass of Pinot Noir waiting for me. Unfortunately, I didn't see that glass until someone told me about it much later. But husband and his woman had arrived probably 20 minutes or 25 minutes before I did. And they were sitting outside talking to a bunch of people. I walked in and the entire party just whoosh, shut down. Everybody stopped talking and looked at me like, what's she gonna do? Right? What a day that was. What a night. So I walked in through the first living room, through the second living room, Everywhere I went, conversation stopped. I walked into the kitchen where the food was, and next to the kitchen, there was another room where a bunch of people were sitting and eating. Everything stopped when I walked in. Everything. Everybody was quiet. And I did this. Hey guys, I get it. I know they're here. I'm okay with it. I'm really hungry and I would like to eat, but I can see that until the confrontation happens and you guys realize that I'm okay, nothing is going to happen at this party. So here I go. And I stopped and everybody just froze. And I walked outside. My husband's back was to me. And I walked up to his girlfriend and I said, oh, it's, by the way, now it's been his wife for like, I don't know, 10 years, something like that. And I walked up to his wife and I said, hi, we haven't met. I'm Sandye. Yeah, it's nice to meet you finally. And she was just, thank you. And husband turned around, saw me standing there. I thought he was going to fall into a hole. I don't think he knew I was going to be there either. And I was a mensch, and I said hello to him and have a good time. I'm going to go get some food. See you around the barn. And I walked back in, and people were just going, how did you do that? What? You were so kind. How did you? And that was when I said, yeah, because it was the right thing to do. That's the way my mama brought me up. It was the right thing to do. It didn't matter that everyone was watching. I didn't even care. I had to do that for me, or I wouldn't have been able to enjoy myself. And the truth is, I had a great time at that party. Sometimes in life, we are forced into situations we don't want to be in. And you have a choice at every moment. Do this or do this. If you listen to you, that still small voice, maybe it's coming from the head, maybe it's from the heart, maybe it's just from universe. Listen to that still small voice and you will be led to do the right thing. It happens every time. Yeah, if you listen first. You know what the right thing is. You always know what the right thing is. Okay, every once in a while, you don't listen. But deep down inside, you always know. You do. And you don't do it for any reason except it's the right thing to do. All right, go out there and do the right thing today. It's 6:30. We went really long, but I love you. Have a delightful, delightful, delightful Friday. I actually thought it was Saturday already. The weekend is happening. Go out and enjoy it. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.